Week's episode was very challenging, at least for Chelsea and Simone. That roadblock kart race was brutal. It started with having to build your own kart, which proved difficult for everyone. However, Tucker was the first to build and complete the race. Let's start at the beginning. The night started with a plane ride to Croatia, where the teams had to find the poet statue for the first clue. While Tucker and Eric had an hour and a half lead, the taxi ride to the airport equalized the gap a bit. The next task was haul fishing nets or skin and fillet a mock fish. Personally, there is no way on earth I would choose to skin a fish. The smell alone would deter me, and not to mention the cats on site hoping for a free meal. And then there was the sharp teeth of the fish and the sharp blade of the knife. No, thank you. Natalie and Stephanie were the first to complete that task. To haul the fishing net would have been my choice, and while the net was bulky and heavy, which it had to carry up many flights of stairs and then back down again, it was the safer choice in my opinion. Tucker and Eric was the first to complete that task. The next leg of the race was a trip to Buza Bars. The twist was there were two Buza Bars and some teammates went to the wrong one. Once at the Boozer bars, the teammates had the opportunity to strategize by choosing a team to U-turn where they had to go back and do the other task in addition to the one they already completed. Tucker and Eric, with a huge lead, did not feel the need to U-turn anyone, and they were more focused on the next leg of the race. And it was no surprise that Jazz and Jag chose to U-turn Izzie and Paige as there is no loss between the two of them. Can I tell you, Izzie was hot and she needed a moment to vent. Izzie declared war on Jazz and Jag. When Joseph and Adam arrived, they chose to U-turn Rabina and Christine. That was surprising to me. Now, don't get me wrong, this is the type of strategy that I like to see. Strategy over drama any day. However, it seems to me that Joseph and Adam should have U-turned Kaylin and Taylor. That would have made more sense because those two had been closely on their heels for the last 2 weeks, and they also have an express pass. But I guess Joseph still has a soft spot for his ex Taylor. Meanwhile, Ravina sliced her thumb as they were trying to skin that fish. Hannah and Simone also had difficulty. Simone struggled, and I mean struggled for the second week in a row with that task. And she lost ground for them, serious ground. And I'm not sure why Hannah would have Simone tackle any of the other tasks going forward, as Simone really does struggle. But their sisterly bond is very touching. This build your cart was a massive struggle for Natalie, and it cost them, as she just couldn't seem to build that cart. She just kept repeating, needs to lay flat, needs to lay flat, needs to lay flat, like a mantra. It was a bit annoying. Jazz's car fell apart during the race, and he had to turn around and rebuild it before entering the race again. Joseph, once again, locked the screw in the wrong place. Remember last week in Houdini's place when he broke the key off in the chest? Anyway, Simone just couldn't figure out how to build that cart. Poor thing was struggling really bad. Honestly, if it had been me, I would have overtly peeped someone else's process to see how they were building that cart, just to figure it out instead of struggling needlessly. Chelsea struggled so bad with that cart race that all four other teams caught up with her and were now racing against her. But I have to give it to her. Her tenacity was commendable. She was exhausted, discouraged, and feeling defeated, but she dug deep and pushed through. I mean, I truly thought she would have been stuck in last place with that task. Kudos to her for not giving up. Kalen made short work of building that cart and he breezed through the cart race in 28 seconds. And I do believe that it was on the first attempt. Poor Simone again, she just could not get even halfway down the road with her cart. And during the race, she lost a few screws and washers and had to go back and replace them. It really was heartbreaking to watch her. She was struggling. She just could not get that race. And as Hannah was on the sidelines watching everyone else complete the race, she knew that their team was in trouble, but she continued to cheer her sister on. Kaylin and Taylor are proving to be fierce competitors. And Eric did overhear Kaylin and Taylor mouthing off about thinking that the guys were targeting the girls when they saw those U-turns. And Eric was quick to inform Jag of that conversation. So now both Tucker and Eric and Jazz and Jag are keeping an eagle eye on Kaylin and Taylor. Izzie and Paige worked through the U-turn with ease. And when Rabina and Catherine caught up with Izzie and Paige, I have to give props to Rabina for not asking Izzie and Paige for help on the directions to the next task because Rabina realized that they were both targeted in the U-turn and that they were both in the same place. So Rabina and Catherine did what they could to figure it out on their own. And despite the U-turns, both those teams are still in the race. The first to reach the final pit stop were Tucker and Eric. They are on fire. Followed by them was Kaylin and Taylor taking second place, and third place was Jazz and Jag. In last place this week was Hannah and Simone. It is now halfway through the race, and each week gets progressively difficult. I wonder if Tucker and Eric can hold down first place. Kaylin and Taylor are also in it to win as they are steadily moving forward. They jumped to an impressive second place this week. Chelsea and Jack and Rabina and Christina are really going to have to step it up and quickly if they want to remain in the race. In the bottom two spots is not where you want to find yourself, especially when there are still two express passes in the play. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next week, it's Paprika out.